America, the roaring 20s were coming to an end. Gloom and hardship had arrived. An apparition was knocking on the door, and to make sure you got the message, its unfriendly ambidextrous hand was writing on the wall. It seemed like everyone was filling out applications to be religious gurus, mystics, messengers, prophets, or gods. A religion called Islam, practiced in India by a man named Hazrat Mirza Ghulam, claimed he was the prophesied Messiah, would influence his right-hand man, Mufti Muhammad Sadiq, to spread the message of Islam in the United States of America. A black man that Sadiq would convert was a man named Timothy Drew, who renamed himself Noble Drew Ali. Drew's popularity would soon become known worldwide. It's the amazing story about a man who arrived in America from New Zealand in 1913, a 20-year-old man born on February 25, 1893. His name was Wallace D. Farad, a man who quickly became engaged in activities of the underworld that would lead to his arrest with his partner in crime, a Chinese-American named Edward Donaldson. It's the disheartening story about lavish lifestyles and disloyalty that would lead to murder at a building unwittingly purchased by a wealthy Jewish philanthropist. A building that would be named Unity Hall, where one night the ultimate in disunity would take place. Infighting over who was successor to leaders who passed would often lead to throwing down the gauntlet and the spilling of more blood. It's the incredible science fiction-like story about the continuation of the spread of Islam with an all-new twist from Wallace D. Farad, a man with many aliases whose strange teachings spoke of an angry black scientist who attempted to blow up Mother Earth, and another dissatisfied scientist who would create a race of devils who would be given 6,000 years to control the world. It's the amazing story about strange religious teachings that would lead to the arrest of Master Farad, whose teachings encouraged murder by a Nation of Islam member named Robert Harris, who would be declared completely insane and placed in a mental institution until his death. A murder Harris committed for his two gods of Islam. Farad, who by his own admission declared his race white to some and black to others. Farad, who would state to arresting officers that he was a false prophet, ripping off blacks strictly for money. Farad, who supposedly vanished, would be replaced by a former alcoholic named Elijah Poole, who would rise up to become one of the most feared black leaders ever. His name would become Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad, who would call himself God's last messenger, would attract many converts who would become very famous. Unfortunately, a history of division would repeat itself, resulting in more death. It's the story about a young woman named Bernstein Sharif Muhammad, who was Master Farad's personal secretary and would one day become the secretary for Elijah Muhammad. It's the story about Sister Bernstein, who married Elijah Muhammad's look-alike blood brother, John Muhammad. Sister Bernstein, the young 17-year-old secretary who was given the title the Reformer by Master Farad himself. Sister Bernstein, who was the very first to set up the Muslim girls training class and was appointed to the rank of captain. Oh my God, Master Farad is the highly informative documentary about the history of Islam in America, its triumphs and its failures. It's the 7-hour epic documentary no one can afford to miss.